Welcome back, fellow veterans. Today, I have an individual I want to introduce to you. I want to talk to you about his service, his retirement, and the thing that he's done post retirement. I always say that if you don't have a plan, there's a statement. If you don't have a plan, you've already planned to fail. And because the fact is, most veterans, we used to have a saying, "What are you going to do when you have to grow up?" Meaning, what are you going to do when you have to take the uniform off and go back into the civilian sector? And so that being the case, I like to get information from other veterans who have went through that transition and share it with you so that you can have insight into what it takes to successfully move through the process. And if you have any questions, comments, or that even if you want our guest to answer, if you put them in the comment, I'll make sure I send it to him. I have his email, and I'll even ask him if he wants me to put his contact information in the message box. But as we move forward, hey, first, introduce yourself to the audience.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, depends on where you are. My name is Timothy Robinson. I'm a retired First Star United States Army, time in service 1983 to 2004. And I've been out just as long as the time I've been in. So I was in 20 years and I've been out 20 years.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we overlapped a little bit. I went in
Okay.
86, 86 to
Okay.
'07. So we
Yeah.
overlapped a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that. So let me get started like I do with every veteran. I want to start from the beginning.
Mhm.
What were you and where did you grow up before you joined the service? Like where were you born and what were you doing before you joined the service? Now, I'm not worried about kindergarten, but I mean like if you
Right,
you
right,
worked
right.
at if
Yeah.
you worked at Walmart or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I was born in a little small town in Mississippi, a little small town called Mount Bayou, Mississippi.
Hmm.
Then, when I was 3 years old, my family migrated to either Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit, but we came here to St. Louis.
Hmm.
And at the age of 17, when I graduated from high school, I went straight to the military. The military was my only job prior to me joining. So I joined at 17. And and that's what I did. Once I joined the military, that was my job until I got out at the age of 38.
Okay,
So,
so what
yeah,
what what made you decide to join the army? Which I believe is the best service. Some people may disagree. If you disagree, put in the comments. We'll discuss it.
that's
But
fine. That's fine. We agree to disagree. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we give everybody the right to be wrong.
That's, yeah, but it's funny you should ask me about my story, and I don't think mine's it's not really that unique. But to me, it's kind of special because I didn't have any plans. I grew up in foster care. Once my mom passed away, I grew up in foster care. So I went to different schools. I really didn't create a whole lot of friends. So in high school, I went to two different high schools. So I really didn't have a plan. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to college, but I didn't know what I was going to do after the military. So when I graduated from high school at 17, it was some friends. We were just sitting on we was in a school parking lot just playing ball. And I know it sounds like a cadence. A recruiter came to me.
Mhm.
A recruiter came to the playground. I mean, where we were at, and asked, "Hey, who want to join the army?" And my other two friends like, "No, we going to college." They both went to Southern, and I'm
Mhm.
like, "I'll go." I didn't have any plans, and so I said, "I'll go." When he asked me my age, I told him I was 17. So he had to get the guardian that I was staying with. She had to sign for me to go to take the ASVAB because I was underage. So I went and took the ASVAB, and they asked me, "When do you want to leave?" I said, "I want to leave as soon as possible." I went down there to the MEF station, took the ASVAB, took the physical. 2 weeks later, I was gone in the army,
Well,
and that was it.
some of that similar to me. I joined at 17 also. I'm
Mhm.
saying my mom had to sign the paperwork for me.
Yeah.
I knew at that point in time I wasn't ready for college. We ain't had the money either,
Right,
for
right, right, right,
college.
right.
And so I did the same thing. I had a friend who was in the service, and what I'll say, not really a friend. It was a family friend because he was older than me, but he was in the reserves, and
Right.
so I said, what, I want to do what he do because I wanted to travel, and so I joined. Saying I joined back in '86 with the MEP, took the ASVAB,
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah.
Say, okay. So when you joined, what was your first MOS?
Well, it's funny you should ask that too, because when I went in, um, at the time, it was I took an MOS that I really didn't want, but I wanted to leave immediately. And the
Right.
only thing that was available that I could leave within a few weeks was field artillery. But
Oh
I had
yeah,
talked to
13 Bravo.
yeah, yeah. I talked to somebody before. They said, man, when you go down there and you pick your job, make sure you don't get anything that's going to keep you in the field. So I would have asked the recruiter. I said, so it's the field artillery. They go to the field a lot. He said, well, no, they don't go no more than anybody else. I said, okay, I'll take it. Field artillery. You
Field
know what I'm saying?
artillery.
It's in the name, right? Right. Yeah. So my first MOS was a 13 Bravo. I went to Fort Sill, did basic training, and we was the first cohort unit there at Fort Sill. So we all did basic training, AIT together, and we all went to Fort Ord, California, and we created a unit.
Right.
Charlie Battery 6 of the 8th Field Artillery, and we all stayed together for 3 years.
Whoa.
So yeah. So after that, I did my 3 years and I got out. Yeah, got out as the E4, 13 Bravo.
So okay. So since I know you're retired, that's got to be more to that story.
That's absolutely. So, young guy, 17 years old, never been away from home. Went to Fort Ord, California, had a great time. But I really didn't know the military. Nobody in my family was in the military, so I really didn't know too much about the military. So, of course, I was homesick. So I get back home after my 3 years, and the only job I could find was security because 13 Bravo really didn't cross over to anything in the civilian sector. So 20-year-old guy went into security, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So I stayed out the military for 3 months.
Right.
And I went back in. And it was another unique story because back then, when you got out, if you were prior service, they wouldn't allow you to change your MOS if you came out of an understrength MOS. And 13 Bravo at the time was understrength.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to change my MOS as well as keep my rank as prior service. So that's when I became a 63 whiskey, which was a
heavy wheel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yep.
That's a great. So you had to go to Aberdeen for that one.
Aberdeen Proving Grounds. We did was down in Edgewood and also Aberdeen. Yeah.
No, I understood. Yeah. I got assigned to Aberdeen back in I came out of the Netherlands in '99, August '99. I got assigned I was in Aberdeen for from '99 to 2001. Yeah, I was in the MIU, and I was a commo guy. Yeah, commo, top secret SBI, all that good stuff. So I was working NATO, then went to technical intelligence unit. So but I had a little bit easier.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me, what as you changed your MOS to become a 63 whiskey, what was one of your favorite DO locations you went to after AIT?
I would say probably Alaska. I spent 3 years in Fort Wainwright, Alaska, up in Fairbanks. I would say that's probably was one of my better assignments. Now, when you talk about mission, or if you're talking about just the area, the great times that we had, but for us, mission and stuff like that, it was the 101st because the 101st was high speed.
Screaming Eagles.
I spent 8 years there. So, high speed, low drag, going to Soldier of the Month or NCO of the Month, competing against the infantry guys and artillery guys. And here I am, combat service support, and I'm, winning the post Soldier of the Month and all the other kind of stuff. So that was rewarding, which helped propel my my military career. But for us, like the area and stuff and the experience, it was definitely Alaska. Because
what years were you in Fort Wainwright?
I was there from 94 to 97.
Okay, because the reason I said that's crazy is because that was my first DO location from 87 to 90. Fort Wainwright, Alaska. I was in 47 engineers. Then they changed over but that was before the 6th Engineer Battalion got there. We was a standalone company. We used to build ice bridges out in the training area going past Delta Junction.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Where Dolly Dome is, that's the coldest place I've ever been.
Yeah, that's what I said. So we said Fairbanks, Alaska. I was thinking, man, I didn't go to Fort Campbell.
706. I was at 706. It was 706 back then. 706 MSD.
Right.
It was right across from the club. They used to call it the Arctic Light Club, but that's where our barracks was. Yeah.
Understood. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. So you like the Screaming Eagles? Screaming Eagles at Fort Campbell, basically. That basically propelled your career forward a lot.
Yep. Yep. Okay. It did. Yeah, because high speed. I mean, that's it. And from that point on, because once I became a sergeant, it was no more. it's hard to find somebody that's in the maintenance field, like mechanics, that because you have a lot of great mechanics that like turning wrenches, but they don't want to do the soldier part of the
They don't
soldier.
want to lead.
They don't want to lead, right?
Yeah.
But I did. So
Right.
when those people said no, those other soldiers said, no, I don't want to go to the soldier money board. I don't want to go to the NCO of the money board. I was like, I do it. So which put me in the light of the battalion sergeant major, the post sergeant major, and all the other people. So yeah, they made sure that I represented them. So yeah, and I did Audie Murphy, all that, throughout the career. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely compete with infantry for that one. So that's
Oh yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Oh
is
yeah.
amazing. So you spent any other time overseas in any other location overseas?
Yeah, actually, I went to Korea twice, and I enjoyed that.
2ID?
I was a 2ID Camp Casey, TDC.
Tony Shaw.
Yep,
I was there.
Yep, hanging down in the Ville, and then I was also in Camp Humphreys down in Piontek.
Okay, I did Tongue Sean. I did Camp Casey.
Okay.
I did Camp Casey from '93 to '94. That's why I did all my shopping. You know, I had suits made. I mean, I mean, I was you know, I was a shopaholic. I was single. I was sending like some purses. Back then it was Dooney Burke. Some purses, some leather coats back home to my mom, my sister.
Meat blankets and all that. Yeah.
I still got a blanket on the couch in the family room that I got from
Wow.
Korea. Still got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that was long. I still got a leather trench coat from the 93-94 time frame that I bought in Korea. Still got it. I still, and if it get real cold here in the winter, I'll still put it on. Still fit.
I know they always say make sure you get a double and triple stitch because the stitching was kind of weak. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing though. I tell you, it seemed like some of the same spot. Like I said, except for me, I didn't go to Fort Campbell. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got kind of spoiled. When I say spoiled, because when I came out of Alaska, I went to Fort Gordon. I was retraining for ComSec equipment, and so when I got the ComSec job, I had to wait for the top secret clearance. So I was there when Desert Storm kicked off. So I didn't deploy Desert Storm. So I was waiting, got my top secret clearance, went to Fort Hood, worked in the signaling unit for a little bit, then went to Korea from there, and then I came back to Fort Gordon as an instructor. So I got the hotel identifier as an instructor at Fort Gordon, teaching basic electronics. You know, so yeah, that's amazing though. Okay, so your favorite assignment you say is Fort Campbell because of what it did for your career. You know, high speed, no drag, like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, when it was time for you, because you said you retired at 20 years, you could have went to 20, 26, 28. You could have, So what made you decide to get out at the 20-year mark?
Well, I knew from the beginning once I decided I was going to make this a career. I knew at 20 years I was going to get out because I was only going to be 38 years old, and I wanted to get out while I was still marketable.
Yes.
So at the 20-year mark, I mean, I was even on the list to go to the sergeant major's.
That was my actually.
But I made the EA list at 14 years. And then it took me a year to get pinned. And once I got pinned, then I became a battalion operations sergeant for a year. And then I did the first sergeant for my last 3 years. And so when I retired, actually, I had first sergeant on my ID card. But no, I knew at that point I needed to get out because I went higher than I thought I was going to go. I really didn't expect to even make E8. I knew I was doing the work, but I was just blessed to make E8, and especially the first sergeant. So I knew at 20 years, 38 years old, okay, it's time to do something different. And I was blessed when I got out because I was at Fort Sill, and at that time they had civilians on the gates. Security guards. So I was able to get a job with the force protection, the civilian force protection, as a supervisor, as a lieutenant, working as a supervisor for the gate guard. So I was still in a military environment as a civilian. So, I mean, that was the best of both worlds for me.
No, I got it. Yeah, I can tell you when I got out of the service, there was a lot of my friends because I got as a career counselor, so I was I had worked the brigade and I've been going to DC a lot. So when I got out, I said to myself, okay, do I want to be done with it? Done with it. Like I had some friends, they went to work GS. I was like, no, I want to be done. I got out, I came, sold all my uniforms
Yeah.
to these places that sell to hunters. So many,
Wow.
so many uniforms. I was like, I'm done. And so I actually
Man.
went. I fell back into career counselor is a direct correlation outside to HR. So I went to work in HR. So because I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm done with the service. And then I realized I I love the service.
Mhm.
I love the camaraderie,
Right.
the people you
Exactly.
meet in the service. But then I realized as I was getting close to retirement, because I think I did a little over 20, I was getting close to retirement, the little stuff started to irritate me. And I said,
Oh,
oh, it's time to go. It's time to,
yeah.
because when the little, when the little stuff started getting to you a little bit, you're like, okay, it's time to go. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
time to go. Yeah.
Yeah, because before then it's all fun and game. It's all
Yeah.
fun. when the,
Yeah.
when the little, so I know it's time to go. Okay, so now that you transition out, you say you went to work in force protection for the Gate Air Force SEAL.
Mhm. Right.
Did you go through the VA process, meaning for all the year that you were running on pavement, probably if you're Fort Campbell, you probably aerosol,
Of
all the
course.
stuff
Yeah.
all the stuff you had to do. Did you go through the military process of getting rated for your service to connected
Well,
disabilities?
now this is an interesting story too. But when I was getting out in 2004, it was just really starting the VA reps was just really coming down. I guess they called it tap. I mean, what do they call it?
Your
When you get
task
ready
was
to
one. Yep.
okay, yeah. When you get ready to transition, your 30 days before you got out, that's when they try to bring everybody in to do this, your physical before you got out. And back then, it wasn't as organized as it is now for soldiers that's getting out the military now. So I had like 30 days to try to clear to see the VA rep and everything. So, and then I did a half-hearted physical with the civilians for the VA because they were saying, okay, we need to give you a physical, and then we can do your rating based off that.
Mm-hmm.
My records were incomplete, medical records were incomplete, and everything. So when I did get out, it took about 7 months for the VA to give me a rating. And then once they gave me that rating, I mean, I didn't agree with the rating, but I didn't know anything. I thought that was good enough. And
Right.
so, there's a whole lot of things I had in my records that I really didn't pay attention to. And then when I went to the VA doctor, it was like, I'm good. Because the military, especially as a leader, it teaches you to suck it up. So it's like,
Yes.
no, I'm good. Well, where's the pain? Well, I got a little pain in my knees, but I'm good. I didn't know what to say. I mean,
Right.
and that's unfortunate because a lot of times you do experience these things, but to you it's no big deal, but it really is a big deal because you've just been known your whole. I mean, you've been told your whole career just suck it up and drive on.
Yeah.
So that was a disadvantage right there. But yeah, my records were incomplete, and I didn't go on sick call for anything. So there was nothing really there for them to really rate me on. So
Yeah, we used
that
to,
was the
the crazy part, look at that, listen to your story. I remember I used to love to call cadence. We'd run a lot to
oh
call
yeah,
cadence,
yeah.
especially, and one of the things we used to say, AWOL, sick call,
Hmm,
can't
hmm,
run,
hmm,
can't fight,
hmm.
can't beat like me. And
Yeah,
so what we were doing,
yeah.
we were instilling in soldiers who probably should have went to sick call, who
Hmm.
probably should have went to see the doctor about a twisted ankle or something. We were telling them, if you do it, you're weak. You know
Right,
what I'm saying? So we were actually pushing the army message that was saying they know later on we don't got to take care of you because you
right.
didn't have none of this documented. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? That was just a part of the culture.
Yeah.
That was a part of the culture.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that once I did the security job, I relocated from Oklahoma back here to Missouri to St. Louis
Right,
to take a job with the Department of Veteran Affairs as a disability compensation representative. So
right,
I was a
right.
veteran service rep. So I just retired from that job 2 years ago.
Okay.
So all the missteps that I had getting out, I saw the errors, that the things that I should have done and the things that would have made my rating higher. And so for those 13 years, I've talked to veterans. I talked to people that's getting ready to transition and let them know these are the things that you need to do. These are the people that you need to talk to. And it's not that you're going on sick call to complain. You're going on sick call to get stuff documented because
Yes.
VA has to show continuity. They have to show that first it took place in the military, and
Yes.
next, do you still have a condition today? And if they have that nexus, then they can go ahead and send you in for an exam, and then they'll rate you based on what your current level of severity is.
Right.
So yeah, so they have to make that you have to have continuity from the service, and to whatever condition you have today.
No, I like that. That's one of the things that one of the other interviews I talked to, he talked about how he had a year to do it, because the one thing one of the reasons I really started this process is because most soldiers, especially during the time frame we got out, and you got out right before me in the '04, the TAP program wasn't a great transition program for soldiers, because especially if you spent 8 years or more
Mhm.
in the service, you learn a different jargon. You learn a different way of operating that's not really conducive to the civilian sector.
Right, right.
And because of that, the transition needs to be at a minimum starting a year out. Now I know people say, "Oh, because the op tempo, we can't give people," but I'm talking about even if it's just one day a week or something, a year out, starting soldiers to learn. Okay, hey, I'm going to be leaving this job, this commitment to the nation, and when I leave it, I have to be prepared to transition back.
That's
And
right.
so, as you was sharing, you don't believe, and I don't believe either. This is another reason I really started this process. Veterans focus on the veteran transition, is that the transition that a lot of people service members received, and no matter what service you were in at that time, was adequate
Right.
to have a successful transition. Because
Hmm.
I was sharing with you earlier, when I transitioned from the military, when I did, like you said, you went straight to force protection, so you stayed around the military base. I transitioned, and I live in Wichita area now, so because I was in Fort Riley, I met my wife, here.
Okay.
And so when I transitioned, there's an air base. McConnell's close to here, but there's no soldiers here. Not really. There's no.
Yeah.
So when I transitioned, all of the camaraderie I was used to was gone.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so for me, I tell people it was almost like a death. You had to go through the stages of grieving,
Yeah.
say, hey,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
no longer this, you're no longer that. You go through the retirement ceremony, they handed me a sword and everything, right?
Yeah.
Give your flag, and then they changed the locks on the door.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
really the
Yeah.
lock, 'cause I
Yeah.
had
I
a
get it.
keypad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's gone. I
Yeah.
say, you
Yeah.
don't go back to the office.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't
You're
change the
right.
command. You didn't change the command.
Mhm.
You changed the guide on. Once the guide on gone.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's an adjustment that a lot of times soldiers don't get an opportunity to successfully make, because not everybody has a success story.
That's right.
Some
Yeah.
people, yeah. And so
Mhm.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to share everybody's story so people can see, okay, hey, they're right. I didn't have a great transition. What do I do now? And that's why I put this out on the platform. Hey, I got people I know, reach out to me, ask questions so we can see if we can help guide you in the right direction. Because if you don't have a good transition story, a good transition process,
Yeah.
it can be detrimental to your success in your civilian career. Okay, so any anything you would like to share to a service member who who's thinking about getting out, wondering should they stay and retire, or should they get out at 12 years? What would you say to them?
Well, now, if you was talking to me some years ago, I would definitely say stay in. But the military has changed since 2004, and so I really don't know how things are now. But I will say, stay in if you can, but if you can't, it's no big deal to do your time, because there's so many benefits that you get once you get out. Like you get your education benefits. You can get out and go
Yes.
to school. You can get out if you get disability rating. You can go do voc rehab to
Hmm.
get you another career. I mean, they would pay for you to go to school, pay for all your books, tuition, and pay you housing
Right.
if you go through the voc rehab program. So there's a lot of benefits when you do get out. Now, if you enjoy staying and being in the military, stay and do the retirement, because there's a lot of benefits that come along with retirees too.
Yes.
I'm talking
Yes.
about when you talk about TRICARE,
Yes.
you talk about just having that ID card. I mean, it
Mhm.
opens up a lot of benefits for you. So if you're in the military and you enjoy it, stay. By all means, stay. But just know that you're going to get out one day. So make sure that you set yourself up to get out. And when you
Right.
do get out, there's a lot of things that's out there. But civilian world is different than the military. I mean,
Yes.
As somebody said before, which makes sense. If you can't make it in the military, you can't make it anywhere, because the military is going to tell you where you need to be, what you need to have on, what you need to do, let you know the standards. The civilian world is different. There's nobody
Right.
going to be there to say, okay, you need to get up and go to work, or you need to get up and do this. You got to have that self discipline to get out there and do it. And civilians are different than you are. I mean, I found myself at work every day while people were taking off all the time. Then the
Yes.
supervisor telling me, hey, Tim, I need you to take care of their job. Well, why can't they do their own job? I'm here every day,
Mm-hmm.
but it was allowed, they were allowed to take off and do all these other things, but then I ended up getting their work. And at some point
Yes.
I was like, I can't do that anymore, because I mean, it's not fair, but life ain't fair. But it's just not, it just wasn't right. So I had to learn. They say you sometimes you got to adapt. I had to
Right.
adapt to the civilian world.
Yes.
So and I'm telling you how bad it was when I retired a couple of years ago. I retired with 500 sick hours, and there was no reason I should have did that, but I never took off work
Right.
because of my work ethic. But everybody don't have that work ethic. So I used to find myself bad because I'm the only person that worked, and everybody else that took off,
Right.
calling in
Understood.
sick and doing that. But that I shouldn't have been mad at them. I should have taken care of myself. Those days
Yes.
I didn't feel good, I should have took my time off, my sick leave and stuff like that. So yeah, as you transition, just understand that you're going to get out one day. So set yourself up for success. And there's a lot of jobs out here, especially that's veteran friendly.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of jobs out here. There's a lot of jobs that you can have even with the VA, you can have a degree, but if you're a veteran, you get preference. You get a 10
Yes.
point. If you're a disabled veteran and you're a veteran, that's 10 points preference with the post office, with the VA, with any government agency. So
Yeah. One thing I can say I noticed this, and I still got a question to ask you about your the reason I really want to interview you too. But one thing I noticed in the civilian sector, and you can tell me if you saw this too, was there's a lack of mentorship.
oh
Whereas
yeah,
in the service, mentorship is mandatory in the service. From the time you become a squad leader, you better know everybody's boot size. You better know their phone numbers. You better know where they live, what kind of car they drive. I mean, it's like you have a
right.
book. You know what I'm saying? And so when I found out working in human resources, as I was HR director in places, I saw people get promoted to become a supervisor of their section or their area of responsibility, but they had no leadership skills. So I basically started a mentorship program for a new supervisor at most of the jobs I was at. Like I did I made I got a training guide based off the 11 principles of leadership.
Oh,
Say
okay,
know
yeah,
yourself, seek self-improvement, train
yeah,
you. I made it, but I changed it to civilian. I used the NCO and the backbone of the army. I say I'm the backbone of my unit. I'm
yeah,
of my organization. I took a lot of the stuff and then refigured it. Say
yeah,
to try to help newly promoted supervisors to learn how to be leaders in their area and not just be the best widget maker, but
right,
how do you lead other widget makers to do their best? What I'm
yeah.
saying? Okay. So how did you get to into the RV life?
Well, it was a guy that I worked with. He Just all he did was camp, camp, camp. And he used to always tell me, why don't you go camping? I'm like, nah, no, I did that
I
camping
know
stuff
kept in
in
the
the
service,
military. Yeah,
bivouac.
I did. Yeah, yeah. I had my shelter half and all that. I'm not doing that anymore. And then he actually showed me his camper, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I started watching different people on YouTube,
Right.
RVers. And I was like, I think I would like that. So my wife and I, we went down and looked at some campers. And the first day we went down there, we bought one. And after that, it was just I can't even imagine life without doing this. I mean,
Yes.
this is such a beautiful community. I mean, like-minded people. I mean,
Yes.
you go to a campsite, it's just so peaceful, and a lot of people don't understand that because my mother-in-law says all the time, you can sit on your deck and just stay outside if you want to stay outside, but you don't get it. It's peaceful. I
Right.
mean, you
Right.
can just get away, you can unplug, and the community is just so friendly. You walk around a campground, everybody speaks. I mean, it's just beautiful, and you can just we've traveled all over. I mean, you
Yes.
meet different people, you see different things, and like I said, I can't imagine not having a camper. I can't imagine it.
No, I understand that. I started watching RV people, RV living. probably about 10, 11 years ago.
Oh,
Because,
okay.
yeah, because, yeah, I travel so much in the service. I think the longest I've been in any new location was Alaska, 3 years. Everything else was like 2 years
Oh, okay.
under. So I love traveling, love it. I mean, I
Yeah.
fell in love with that. So I started watching it, and trying to convince my wife, I watch this video, babe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I ran across people in the military. If you wear green, you all want. But I ran across people who look like me. You know what I'm saying? I ran across a couple of people. Don and Peggy was one that
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like me. You know what I'm saying? I ran across. You look. As a matter of fact, I reached out to Don and Peggy, but he had stopped RVing for a minute, and then he just came back about a couple of months ago.
Yeah, they were actually on our last video.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
Okay.
why that's why I reached out to you. I said, oh,
Yeah.
because I saw your shirt. I said, oh, he's military. He's retired.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so I said I could talk to him. You know what I'm saying? So you say you guys just truly enjoy traveling. So basically for you, it's still like this traveling a lot, seeing different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, and it's funny. My wife says it all the time. She said, before we start RVing and had a YouTube channel, you never wanted to take pictures. You're always like shy. You never want to be around people. But now it just the YouTube channel. It just opened me up, and I enjoy having a platform now where I can share our story. I mean, our
Right.
YouTube channel is really for our children, and once we're gone from here, they can look back and say, "Hey, this is what Grandma and Grandpa did."
Right.
They were out there enjoying themselves, and we have so many people to come to us that we are very inspired by you guys. We
Yes.
can't get out there and do that, but we're gonna live through you guys.
Vicariously through you. Yeah, I got you.
Absolutely, yeah. So it makes us feel good that we can not only share our story, but have people that to really enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
we enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I
So
I showed my wife the when you guys were playing the newlywed game, basically. You
oh,
know
okay,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, 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 yeah,
I said, because me and my
yeah,
wife back in 2005, I was in Texas and for Sam. When I actually got work, we used to sit down and watch Newlyweds, see who we could get
oh
right answer
yeah,
right. But it's
right,
been that long ago. So when I saw
yeah.
that, I said, "Oh, baby, we used to play that." I said, I don't know if I get the answer right because one was like, if you ask your spouse what they're gonna cook for you, your favorite meal, what would
Oh yeah,
it
your
be?
favorite meal, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
oh man, I might not get that one right now.
Well, my wife wanted to cook. My answer was always be tacos. That's all she
Yeah.
cooked.
No, hey, that's good. You can't lose with that one.
Yeah, look, no, absolutely. That's a trick question right there.
No, I got you. I do.
Yeah,
Hey, well, hey, Top, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy, got a lot of stuff going on. What I want to do is when I get ready to post this, I gotta probably do it sometime this afternoon. I'm gonna get everything together because I don't do a lot of editing. I just post it.
right.
I'm going to put your YouTube link.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Barbara Trippy. I want to make sure that so if somebody can want to reach out to you to ask you questions through
yeah,
YouTube, they'll have that link there. And I like I said, I truly appreciate your time. And like I said, if I get questions come in, like I would put my email address, the veteran focus on the veteran transition at Yahoo. I put it on there. If anybody send questions, if there's a question for you, I'm gonna
yeah,
forward it to you. Unless they reach out to you on your YouTube channel. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
But I do have one thing. I heard your last guest to say that you can reach out to if you're transitioning, or even if you're not transitioning and you want to put a disability claim in, disability compensation claim in. He spoke about the VFW, the Veteran of Foreign Wars. But
Yes.
there's a lot of agencies out there. The DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, the especially the people that's getting out from 9/11 on. The Wounded Warriors program,
Right.
that
Right.
is top notch. So you can reach out to the Wounded Warriors, DAV, the Veteran of Foreign Wars,
American
uh,
Legion.
American Legion,
Right.
absolutely. And I don't think the Purple Heart Association is still. I don't know if they're still in business, but even every state has their own representatives. So, like in Missouri, we have the Missouri Veterans Commission. In Texas,
Right.
you have the Texas Veterans Commission. Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Veterans Commission. So each state has their set of agencies that you can
Mhm.
go and get information from. And also, if you're a disabled veteran, each state has a set of benefits that they give
Right.
to disabled veterans.
Yeah.
So
I can get my fishing license for free.
that's right. That's right. And like if you're in Texas,
Mhm.
Florida, I think Tennessee, you don't have to pay any. like property tax. So if you if you're 100% service connected,
Right.
you don't have to pay any property tax. If you're in Illinois, all you have to do is be 70% or above, and
Right.
you don't have to pay any personal property taxes. So if you're curious and you're service connected, let's go to your state your state page, whatever state you're in. Just go to the government page and see what benefits they give to disabled veterans. You'll be surprised.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because you're right. Chief Haynes, he was sharing about the VFW because that's the service, that's the one who benefited him. So every soldier or airman, Marine, Coast Guard, they're gonna be a different maybe a different group that, like you said, going to the state site for the veterans. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage. I'm glad you brought that out, and I hope that that will be a benefit to our veterans who are still serving, thinking about getting out, even those who have already transitioned. We just hope this will be a benefit. So I really truly thank you for your time. Like I said, I'm gonna get some things done. I'm gonna get this uploaded, and then I'm gonna send you the link and everything. Hopefully like I joined, subscribe to Forever Tripping.
Okay, yeah.
Hope you subscribe, become a part of the channel here too, so we get this like I said, this is free. This is just we just want to be a voice of wisdom for veterans. All right.
Right.
Once again, thank you so much for your time. You have any final words before we cut it off?
Airborne. Cool.
All right. There we go. All right, let's see.